Welcome to part 2 of making my workbench. So right now after I've got all the lumber cut at the lumber yard, I'm ready to start doing the layout and making the top. So as per Rex's video, he has laid out a square mortise. So remember those cracked boards? As I mentioned, the crack wasn't that bad, so I just planed it off, and now I'm using my Ryoba saw to saw a few lines. And since we are going like this square mortise is going to be in the bench over here, so we can put a lot of work holding accessories. So it's quite simple. Just saw make sure you don't make the square mortise too loose, so it has to be a fit kind of like this, so it's the width of the extra leg that you get. And you do this on both halves of the bench. You just take the saw down to the lines and then just clear out the waste with the chisel. Now I'm gonna glue up the middle, so we're gonna add more supports later, but I just take some normal wood glue and apply it with a silicone brush to get an even spread. And this is between the boards, so because it's going to be like the joint that holds the bench together, make sure you've jointed the edges. I just used a low angle jack plane. It was very tough because each half of this probably weighed not like it probably weighed easily 4 kgs, and it was quite difficult to hold because my small bench weighed half of what half of the bench weighed. So it was very weird and like not the best way to hold it. And make sure the square mortise is lined up properly. I'm just using a mallet to adjust it so that it's proper, and you can actually just put the piece over there to make sure that it's aligned properly. And after that, I have put the glue, spread it properly, and make sure the edges are jointed. I can just put on a few clamps and cawls to make sure that the top doesn't twist a lot and it stays aligned. Now I'm gonna drill the holes for the legs with a 1.5 inch hole saw. I don't have a spade bit that big. I don't have a Forstner bit that big. The hole saw was my only option. I'm in Rex's video. He uses a bit that is 1.25 inch, but I had the stock that I had was big enough to fit like a 1.5 inch hole. So I thought the extra 1/4 inch of material in the round mortise and tenon couldn't hurt, so it would be quite beneficial. But before drilling the holes of the legs in any random position, we have to do a little bit of layout to find a proper location. So in his video, he says that 10 inches from the end of the workbench, and so we go back 10 inches and then 3.5 inches in from each side, so we get that point and we just mark that there. And then after that, what we need to do is make a 45-degree line, so that comes back to the point that we made there, 3.5 inches in and 10.5 inches back. So we have to, when we drill, the drill has to point towards that 45-degree line, so 45 degrees outward, and we have to drill at a 15-degree angle. So using a guide block that's tilted at 15-degree angle, we can get a better understanding on what angle to drill. So this makes the stance of the bench much wider and much more stable. If you didn't really understand what I explained, I am extremely sorry. It took a bit of time for me to also make the layouts, but if you didn't understand, I would highly recommend you watch Rex's channel and Rex's video. He does a much better job of making it and explaining it, and he's an absolutely fantastic teacher. I highly recommend you check out his channel. After the top was glued together and the leg holes were drilled, we're gonna put some battens, and we have to drill that same hole, the 1.5 inch hole in the battens also. So the battens run the entire width of the board, and the battens really help you to get a very they support the bench much more and make it very sturdy and much stronger. So I'm just going, after putting some glue on the battens, I'm gonna screw them in, and I don't have like a impact drill, so I have to do this by hand. And I would highly recommend if you put some paste wax to make the screws go in much smoother. And then after I've glued and screwed in the battens, these are from the same stock that we got, the 2x6. So it's quite simple. You just need that stock and some other materials which are very minimum and very easy to find. After I've let them dry, the battens really make the bench much more solid, and I'm going to take the Ryoba saw and flush cut off any part that is sticking out. This will just make the battens really, I can't emphasize enough how important the battens are. They make the legs stronger and they make the overall bench stronger, and you can just flush cut off any extra part with the Ryoba saw. It's very simple. Thank you for watching part 2 of making my bench. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. It would mean a lot. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.